Hey fraggers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to XDefiant goldgrind. This is a special video for me because it's the first of its kind and it's also the first gun that I have unlocked gold for. Magnum, the worst secondary weapon at the time and probably the worst gun in the game as well. So I'm really happy that I've finally done it. I'm looking forward to using other guns, but as you may expect, I'll be using a bunch of secondary weapons too. I want to finish this category as fast as I can. At least, I mean, they're probably going to end up adding another secondary weapon to the game when season 1 drops, and I'll definitely give it a try and probably get it to level 100. But I always like to do the hardest things first and leave the best guns for later on down the road. It's kind of my motivation. It's what keeps me going, because if I use the best guns right now, like snipers, SMGs or assault rifles, and I'll be thinking, oh man, I still have those pistols, or I don't know, LMGs that I still have to do, and it's going to be very boring, really hard for me. But right now, even when I have really bad games, this is probably actually my best gameplay so far with pistols. I kind of think, yeah, I need to hold on, then I'll be able to use better guns and have like just great time playing this game. I'd like you to ask to consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it or commenting on the video. It really helps, means a lot to me. I'm currently on my way to 5 subscribers. Now it's not even a thing, or it shouldn't be a thing, but here we are. It's very important for me. Every single one of you, every single view is extremely important as a content creator or as a beginner. You can unsubscribe down the road. Let's carry on with the weapon grind. Get back to the video at hand. Maybe some of you people are also completionists and would also like to go and unlock gold for every single gun, or even secondary guns like pistols, and you're wondering what's the best class setup or faction to play in XDefiant to get gold as fast as you can. There are really no tips I can give you, because otherwise it's going to be clickbaiting, really, like best class setup to get gold on Magnum fast. No, there is no such thing, and for starters, it's because of the absence of skill-based matchmaking in this game. In Call of Duty, if you're facing people of your skill, there's going to be just probably one particular setup that you want to use in order to be able to compete with them. Or if you're smurfing or reverse boosting like the majority of content creators and YouTubers, then you're more likely to be facing noobs. And in that regard, class setup doesn't really matter. If you're a good player, you can be playing with the worst guns possible and yet rack up kills really fast. There's no variety and you're going to be facing that player, so the class setup doesn't really matter. All those content creators are just using people's ignorance to get views. As simple as that. And the factions, once again, no reason to talk about that. You're basically bringing a secondary weapon, a pistol, to a gunfight, the worst pistol in my opinion, and you're gonna suck, really. This game, yeah, I do really well, but there are tons of games that I had that were really bad. I was going really negative, and that's to be expected. That's totally normal, and I might say one thing that might be interesting for you or useful. If you're really that concerned about the factions that you can use to level up guns fast, or faster at least, I think you can use DedSec or Libertad. And let me explain myself. DedSec, especially the spider bot, I know they're gonna nerf it probably in the next update or one of the upcoming updates. But right now, if it disables a player right in front of you, you can get a free kill with your pistol. That's gonna help you. But at the same time, not really too much. If you're, once again, if you're facing good players, odds are you're gonna suck, and yeah, it's to be expected. That's totally fine. Libertad, you can heal yourself, but once again you have a cooldown on your abilities, and in the meantime you can get killed a bunch of times, so I don't really find that too helpful. The only reason I'm playing as cleaners is because I was completing the base challenges. Yes, I still have some faction characters that I haven't unlocked, and cleaners were one of them, since I haven't unlocked Kersey. But once again, Libertad, yeah, probably, but just like with DedSec, I think it's just gonna give you maybe a couple of free kills, sort of free kills, or help you when you're desperate. You've been hit a couple of times, but after that, it's just not going to do much, really. So, yeah, just play whatever suits you best. If you have some base faction characters that you haven't unlocked, yeah, go ahead, unlock them. Doesn't really matter. But like those two factions, DedSec and Libertad, in my opinion, are the best. They're not going to make a huge difference, but at least kind of helpful when you're playing with a pistol. And like I said, maybe in Battlefield 2042, playing as a medic, it's going to help you a lot, like Falk, for instance, when you can inject yourself with health all the time, continuously. And it's definitely going to help you and speed up your pistol grind, tier 1 grind as it's called in Battlefield, but not in XDefiant, not really. So moving on to the next thing I'd like to talk about, the grind itself. Yes, it's too slow and a lot of people have talked about it multiple times. I don't really want to go over it once again, but yes, I agree, very slow. But once again, it depends on what you compare it with. If you are a Battlefield 2042 player, then this grind is probably going to be something kind of easy to you and maybe even not that tedious and long, since in Battlefield you have to get 1,200 kills for every single weapon, regardless whether it's secondary or primary weapon. And it's, let me tell you something, it's really hard to get that. So tier 1 really sucks, especially with all the weapons from Battlefield 3, for instance, when you have almost no attachments that you can put on. It takes forever to unlock tier 1. But on the flip side, I think this tier grind that we have currently is actually fun. And it's great because, let me tell you something, a mastery grind should stay a mastery grind. You should be able to show it to other people, have a sense of accomplishment really. And when you do it way too fast, you're just gonna lose it. You're just gonna say yourself, yeah, okay, whatever. And if you could unlock it really fast, there would be no point in even playing with a certain gun to unlock gold on it. So I think it's definitely worth it. And we also need to bear in mind it's a free-to-play game. They want people to play longer, as long as possible. And something that you can earn by playing is actually a fantastic idea. Unlike those things and skins and camos that you can just simply buy from the store. At the same time, in XDefiant, since you only have levels, you don't have some specific challenges like in Call of Duty, like for instance long shots. And long shots are probably the worst thing that I've ever done, because it's down to sheer luck. If a person or if the other team do not show up in the places you want them to show up in, it's just not going to be a fun experience. You're not going to get a lot of long shots, maybe even none. I've had so many games in Call of Duty when long shots were a thing, like Vanguard, Cold War, MW 2019, when people were not using like those lanes where you can line them up and get long shots, and it was so frustrating. I'm really happy it's just all down to levels, and like I've said in Battlefield 2042, 1,200 kills with every single gun. Doesn't matter if it's a pistol, if it's a primary weapon. That's awful, man. So right now I think that this camo grind feels about right. I don't have anything to complain about it. I think it should stay the way it is. I know they want to change the attachments and how you unlock them, and it's totally fine, because especially with primary weapons, I think it's taking way too long maybe to unlock decent attachments. But other than that, it's a good grind. It's definitely worth it. And if you are a completionist, go for it. Trade up. Just go for the grind. You won't really regret it. You'll feel very proud of yourself once you complete it. And it's also a chance for you to get better at the game, because that's also a thing I want to cover in one of my videos, like tryharding and sweating. And I don't know why people think that being a sweat or a tryhard equals being a good player. It's not. When you are actually using bad guns and you make them look good, that's when you can say that you're getting better and that you are a good player. So I'll definitely get back to it in one of my future videos, hopefully. But yeah, just definitely give it a try. Once you get to level 100 with Magnum, man, this feeling like you've done the worst gun right now in the game and you've got it gold, it's a good feeling. But once again, we don't know what's the next mastery camo is going to be, or how it's going to be unlocked. I really hope that it's like in Call of Duty when you get a mastery camo for completing, or previous mastery camos, basically gold. So really hope that it's going to be like dark matter or atomic, but we have to wait and see how it shakes out. But right now, I think I'm gonna wrap things up. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Fragger out.